Okay.
Hey everybody, this is Jeff, aka GCurse, with my friend Aaron, aka Anvrin. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Anavrin.
Anavrin. It's okay,
It's hard to pronounce.
Basically, this is just like a pilot show that we're gonna do every now and then. It's called Shooting the Shit, where basically we're just gonna be talking, and
Wait, we're not gonna actually be firing guns into shit. I thought
oh,
I thought that's what this show was.
well, trust me, if I could, I would, but considering that our landlord is already wanting us out because they want to get new people in to raise rent. I'm not going to give them any more
Okay.
chances. But as we were talking a few seconds ago, we were talking about 9/11, and I can actually recall when what was going on that day. I was 19, and this was about it was just about a year after I stupidly dropped out of high school. Now, I do not encourage anyone to drop out of high school. I dropped out for multiple reasons, but if I was just strong enough and I hung in there, I would have graduated. But the thing is, it's just like I said, it was a lot of it was peer pressure, and a lot of people like, you gave in to peer pressure. You're damn right I gave in to peer pressure. One of the things was I was being assaulted almost on a daily basis, and nobody should have to go through that shit.
Right. Well, that's not peer pressure. That's bullying,
Well, yeah,
right?
well, that's bullying too, but a lot of people would say it's peer pressure. But yeah, so it was about a year after I dropped out, and I was making some bad life choices. I kind of stagnated, and I was living with my mom, and I got up one morning and I went downstairs, and regarding we didn't even know what was happening yet, and because she got home late from work because at that time she was working the graveyard shift, so she would get up at like 9 or 10 in the morning. She'd get home like 3 in the morning. And
Right.
well, I had a Sega Dreamcast, which I'll admit it was honestly like one of the weirdest purchases ever, because I do not encourage buying a video game system if it's just for one game.
Right.
But that happened to me. I bought it because of one freaking game.
What was it?
Resident Evil Code Veronica.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if this was a good sign or a bad sign. Like, maybe it was if anybody watching this believes in God, maybe this may have been a message from God himself. But a few months before I got the Dreamcast, I had some money saved up, and they had. Now, have you ever heard of a business called Electronics Boutique?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what basically became GameStop.
Oh, okay,
I think Electronic Boutique is
that was at the mall, right?
Yeah, I was at the Three Rivers Mall at the time.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is I think that when GameStop bought Electronics Boutique, they merged and took over the name and everything. But you can still find Electronics Boutique in Canada, oddly, I think. It's one of those weird things that when a company merges,
right,
the main base company exists, but only like in Mexico or Canada, like you don't find anymore anywhere else. Well, one of the things Electronics Boutique was known for doing was that they had deals, and I wish that they still did it. They probably still do. I just don't do it anymore. But if you buy a game system back then, you would get the system, one controller. I even got a memory card, which was nice of them.
Yeah.
And a game. So basically you got and it was like $99 for a PlayStation 1. Now, granted, it was, PlayStation 2 was already out, so that's why it was a little bit cheaper,
Right.
But so I got, the PlayStation 1, all that stuff. And the game I picked was Resident Evil. It was the first one, the director's cut.
Oh,
yeah. And now you're probably wondering to yourself, well, what was this message from God? I shit you not. Me and my mom were getting in the car to go to the Three Rivers Mall to get the PlayStation.
Right.
as we were getting into the car, she got into the car first. I was walking, and we had an earthquake.
You're kidding?
No, it was here. I'm gonna share the screen.
Huh.
Let's go with this. Okay, let's see if I can. I think it was 2001 earthquake, Washington. Let's see here.
I do remember a couple.
Yeah, February 22nd,
life.
2021. It was the 6.8 Nisqually earthquake.
Huh.
Yeah,
that says 2021. Is it like the anniversary? Because it says 6.8 in 2001. But...
Oh, well, it's it was in 2001. I'm sorry, I thought I misread.
I'm not sure what actual date it was.
Oh, it was in 2001.
Yeah, that's the one that took out the coastal.
Like facade fell down and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. So my mom, she honestly thought here. My mom
was February 28th though.
Yeah. Mom, she actually thought I was shaking the car. she's like,
cut it out.
She's like, yeah, she was. That's that funny. What are you shaking? I'm like, I'm not shaking shit. I'm like, I didn't do shit. And she goes, yeah, you are. I'm like, how can I? I'm like, and the thing was, and then the aftershock gently moved the car. I'm not doing it. See,
Right.
So we went back into the townhouse that we lived in, because we actually had a parakeet, not a parakeet, a parrot at the time. It was a Quaker parrot.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went in to check, make sure she was okay, because we had her cage on. It was on a table, but it was kind of rickety, but it was stable enough for the cage.
Right.
But with the shaking, we're worried what could have happened.
Sure.
So that was okay, and then we went back out and got in the car. And the weirdest thing, I'm not sure. Maybe it was because like we were just dealing with what just happened with the earthquake. I swore the sky was a different color at the time. It was like to me, it was like a yellowish, reddish kind of color. Not totally red, but it was just like a yellowish color. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but
I wonder if the earthquake could possibly kick up a bunch of dust or
I don't know. It was odd, And the thing was, like, normally at that time in 2001, the mall was on a decline, but it was still pretty popular. It still had all those big stores, Well, me and Mom got there, and I'm not sure people were scared to death because of the earthquake that just happened. Nobody was in the mall except for the workers. Prime parking, So we didn't park.
You guys weren't worried about if the structure was going to collapse.
Yeah, we didn't park in the handicap parking, but we got pretty damn close to the mall. Well, that's when I got that, and then over the next couple few weeks, I ended up getting Resident Evil 2 and Nemesis, or Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. And
you were hooked.
Yeah, well, the thing was, I was already hooked before that, because I played the games at my cousin Peter's house. And that I'll be honest, me and him and his family had a falling out. It's kind of sad, but things happen. But and then I was checking out some old gaming magazines. Well, old by today's standard, but it was still, they were new at that time. And they had an advertisement for Sega Dreamcast. And I think at this point, Sega Dreamcast was already out for at least a couple months. And the thing that they had like little, it was an advertisement, and there was little squares, and in each square was a game that that they were advertising. And I think it was like in the upper right corner-ish, they had Resident Evil Code Veronica. And that was when I'm like, I need to get that. I need to get that.
That one was on the Dreamcast?
Yeah, it was on the Dreamcast. Here, let me. Here, I'll do another screen share.
They had one on the GameCube, didn't they? Release a Resident Evil on the...
Yeah, they did. And
it's really weird now in hindsight. But...
Well, that is. Let's see here. Resident Evil Code Veronica Dreamcast. Yep, here it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did not heed the warnings. I just knew I wanted this game. I wanted it badly. I wanted,
Right.
I got it, and well, the thing is, when I finally we got up the money to get the Dreamcast, I think it must have been towards the end of it had a real small lifespan,
Yeah, it totally did because it had a what
major problem.
56K modem for
Yeah,
online, like, and then broadband was kicking in, like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so me and mom, we went to KB Toys. God, I wish KB's was still around.
Yeah, I spent a lot of my childhood in KB Toys.
We went to KB Toys, didn't have any. We went to Electronics Boutique, they didn't have any, and the ones that they did have were refurbished. And I'm guessing the quality back then was really bad, because I'll explain that in a little bit. We then went to Walmart. They didn't have it. They had Code Veronica, so we were able to pick up Code Veronica. We had the game, but then we had a problem with no system.
Right.
The final place that we went to, because at this point, even though the internet was around, there wasn't that much of a big,
content.
business, content for online buying.
Right.
So the last place we went to was Fred Meyer's.
Oh, okay.
And how long have you been in this area? I'm just curious.
My whole life.
Okay, so that Fred Meyer's was drastically different 20 years ago.
Oh yeah, so about a fourth of this.
Yeah, fourth of the size, and the entryway itself is totally different than what it is now, because they used to have a restaurant, if you remember.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh yeah, it was called the Nook, or Cozy Nook, or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
If I was to really give an estimate where it is, okay, the far left entryway where Fred Meyer's
I remember now.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like
you would walk
not a buffet
in
style, but it was kind of. Didn't they have
I would say it was like a cafeteria style, because they had the little sliding,
almost like a hospital cafeteria.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I'm totally remembering that now. It's
well,
scary.
if you remember, just past that, when you're walking down the aisle next to the restaurant, then they had electronics.
Right.
They had the system there. It was the very last one.
Wow.
Well, I got it, and I was a fucking pig in mud,
I loved the Dreamcast too. Was that when it was $99? Because
no,
they started clearancing them out.
Actually, me and mom, I think we paid like $129 plus tax.
Oh, okay.
And so I played it, and I was stupid, I did not look at the technology the way like we all do now. Because when I had going back to when in the 80s, when I was younger, I had my dad got me the NES, the original NES. And
you had to be pretty little then, right?
Yeah.
So it's like 86 or something.
Yeah, I got it in like 88, I think it was. So I was about 7 years old.
Oh, perfect.
Well,
Super Mario Brothers.
I was of the type, I did not think about that stuff. When I was in I think it was like 89 or 88, 89, 90 was when Super Mario Brothers 3 came out.
Oh, okay.
I would play the game in the morning, and I cannot recall for the life of me if it had a game. A game save function. I'm not sure if it did or not. I can't.
Oh, you said Super NES, huh?
No, the original NES.
The original? I don't think the original ever.
Well, the only games I had.
Well, Zelda had to.
Yeah, Zelda had a save. I just can't recall if Super Mario Brothers 3 did. Well, what I would do is I would play it in the morning,
actually, and
instead of risking losing all my, what I've earned,
right?
I would leave the system on
24/7
and go to school.
Oh, gotcha.
So so for like 6 hours, it would be stuck
coming away.
Yeah, it would be stuck on the same screen with Mario doing his little like character dance while before you click on the the level.
Right.
Well, I kind of did that regarding the Dreamcast, because when back in the when we got the Dreamcast, I tried to be now, but I was a lot more conscious conscious of my weight and everything back when I was younger.
Hmm.
So every night when mom would be at work, I would go and just do lengthy walks, around the neighborhood. Then this was also when they had a marketplace on, I think it was Commerce. It's the
Yeah,
one that's next
across
to,
from the bank.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's where Furniture World is now.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I would like walk over there and get a bottle of water and walk back, and that kind of stuff. There would even be times that I would actually even do a quick, not like a run, but a fast jog,
Mm.
And I'll be honest, I wish I was like that. Now I can, I can walk, but even though I know I've destroyed my body, I'm not gonna lie, I've destroyed it. Yeah,
Well, it's not. You're implying that it couldn't be put back into shape. Like, you could, I'm sure, like be,
I try to, but yeah, and so I would leave it on because not only would I play the game, but one of the things that actually got me really introduced into the informational superhighway, or the net, even though I had experience with it in high school before I dropped out, the Dreamcast actually came with a disc,
right,
that would allow you to get onto the internet.
Yep.
Well, the thing is like, I'm not sure if a lot of people. I'm pretty sure a lot of people did when the internet was first big. The internet really just took control of me when I was younger. Like,
oh, interesting.
And I was fucking addicted to the net. So when I would go out, and one of the things was I came across. This is still when message boards were still fairly new and stuff. I was a fan of Star Trek. And I came across, it was just after 9/11, actually. I came across a Star Trek fan message board. And I mean, I would be fucking talking on that or typing on that shit hour after hour after hour after hour. I mean, it would be to the point I was so fucking addicted to it. My mom would give me a kiss on the back of the head. She said she's going to work. I'm like, okay, see ya. It would be light out. And by the time I would actually stop to get up to use the bathroom without realizing it was dark.
Wow.
Yeah, that
and you're just reading and posting messages?
Yeah, talking to people from the East Coast. There's even somebody in China.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was into Star Trek, huh?
Yeah. So basically, what I would then do is, like I said, once I finally got what I felt was a decent break, I would get up and do my walk around the block or multiple walks. Hell, there'd be times I'd even walk from the townhouse, which was on South 9th in Longview. I would actually walk all the way, where that, 50, I think it's 15th, or maybe it's on Oregon Way, the AM PM that's on that corner.
Yep.
I would actually walk from the townhouse on 9th all the way to that AM PM, up to back to the hospital, down to the hospital, then down that road. So, it would be lengthy walks. And this, I'd be doing this and I just leave the machine running. Well, what I did not realize was that there was also major flaws with the Dreamcast. And basically, one of the problems was that you get disk read errors.
Right.
And it wasn't really at this point, they did not, it would not be like at least for me, it never came up as a serial number, with a letter that, you were supposed to look up. It wasn't like that. It just, you would open up the system or the tray, the door, pop the disk in, close it, and it would spin, but it would not read the laser could not move to read the disk.
Oh, right.
So basically I would kind of have to physically move the lens on the spindle, and there would be times that it would work, you would move it and then it would click into place and read it. But doing it so much also damaged the machine, because you're not supposed to physically
Right.
You know,
The
so
gears will
like
lose a tooth or
yeah.
something.
But so it got to the point that the system would not read the disc anymore, no matter how much I would try to move it. And it isn't like I would like refit. I would be careful, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still doing that did damage, you know.
Yeah.
So we went to Electronics Boutique, and this now we're back to where I was talking about the refurbishing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I said, do you have any first I asked if they had any new Dreamcast, and they didn't do it. Honestly, I felt like internally they were laughing their ass off of me. Like, you want a new Dreamcast? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, am I being too loud?
No, my wife was just asking me something. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Oh, we're live.
Well, if you need to go, you can go. Yeah.
No. She was asking if we were live or if I'm watching one of your videos, because I'm always down here watching your videos.
You know, I thought that internally they're like, you dumb fuck wanting a new Dreamcast. What the fuck is wrong with you? Get your pussy ass a fucking GameCube, you know, or some shit like that, you know.
Right.
They're like, no, they replied though. They said, no, we got some refurbished.
Right.
I'm like, okay, you know, because at this point, I was basically already played out on Resident Evil Veronica. Honestly, I never got any other games for it. So like I said, that's why I say don't buy a system for one game.
Yeah.
Look at the product as a whole, and look at what they have, you know, planned in the future for the product. You know.
Yeah. And Dreamcast was kind of a doomed system.
Yeah, it was already dead when.
It was a great system though. Probably, I mean, I think became the prototype controller for the Xbox and PS2. I mean, obviously the PS1 too, but the bigger. Did it have two trigger buttons? Or
yeah,
it
had two trigger buttons. I think it had
two analog sticks.
Two analogs, I think. But it was just too big. And the weird thing is the cord. The cord did not go through the top. It went through the bottom.
And that's where the memory card would go too, right? Like,
no, the memory card went through the top.
Oh, it did go through the top?
Yeah.
Didn't they have like little Tamagotchi memory cards too?
Exactly. That's one of the things here. Let me actually, I hope you don't mind me always sharing the screen.
No, it's interesting.
Okay, let's see here. Participants. Well, I hope that they can see what I'm doing because, you know. Okay, Dreamcast controller. Let's look at the controller first.
Yeah, I think it had the two analog sticks not in the line.
Oh, maybe it was just one.
Just this one. Okay. Yeah. So you still had to do the weird when you're in 3D games, you're using
just the one
up, down, left, right on the other side, which was like the Nintendo 64 really still. Because Nintendo 64 had the one analog.
The thing is, I'm not even sure what the other games were like because, like I said, I only had the one. Here, let me pull up an image. I only had the one game, and basically, it was still fixed cameras, even though it did have moving segments on the camera.
Yeah,
it was still pretty much fixed camera. But yeah, so as you can see here, it would come out through the bottom. And let's see, can we see? Because if I remember correctly, Dreamcast controller bottom or underneath.
Yeah.
Maybe they can, because I think towards the. It's not gonna
there you go. There's one on the left.
Oh yeah, so as you can see, they actually had a little slot here or notch that you could actually put the cord into.
Oh right, you could peel it up and
yeah,
if you wanted it to be. That is a weird design choice.
I just did not like it because the cord would always get in my hand.
Yeah,
you know.
Plus, you don't want to wrench the. I mean, if you keep moving it, you think that the cord would get worn out.
And then here's the Dreamcast, the
virtual
memory unit, as they called it. And you're right; it's like a Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
Basically, what you would do is it would go into the controller upside down.
Right.
And
you could kind of play mini games on it.
Yeah.
Stuff, I think.
I heard that you could. I never did because Yeah. And if I remember correctly, I think this had a watch battery. And the odd thing is that mine did not last that long. I think it lasted a few months and then the thing was dead, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a weird,
It was Tony Hawk, the first Tony Hawk game that I played to death on the Dreamcast. I don't think it was the second. I played the first and the second ones, but the second one was on PS2. But I love those games, which is weird because I'm not a skateboarder at all.
Have you noticed that people like to play games of things that they never do themselves? Like let's take Madden.
Oh,
people will fucking play Madden.
I love Madden too, but I watch football like crazy. I have my whole life.
Yeah, so. But okay, or have you ever played basketball games?
Yeah, but I love basketball too.
Oh well, okay, well. Let's see here. I'm just curious.
I was all league honorable mention my junior and senior year.
Really?
Well, went to the Christian school, so the teams we played were like Tootle and Kalama, Napa Vine.
Okay, and I forgot. I was wrong. There was one other game that I got. It was actually included in the package.
Oh, I see the web. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the web browser here. Yeah. And there was actually a game on this.
There was.
I don't
remember that.
Have you ever heard of a game? Well, I'm not even sure what the correct term of it is. I'm guessing you could say it was like Snake. Basically, you have two little lines that represent snakes.
Right.
And there's dots that you eat the dot and it gets a little bit bigger each time you eat it.
Right.
Well, this is the only game besides Tetris that I could get my mom to play with me.
Mm-hmm.
And we would play this. And the whole thing is you're supposed to get the enemy, the opponent's snake
like trapped,
stuck, and then they end up dying, So yeah, me and mom would used to play that, and I've never been able to get her to play other games. I understand she's not really much of a gamer, but yeah, it's a nice memory, But
the one that me and Sunny have played, I mean, for 14 years now in different times, is Peggle and all the different Peggle games they have.
What is that like?
So it's just one of those like pachinko kind of games. Like you fire a ball into pegs and then it bounces off or goes down in different.
Oh, okay.
You got to try to clear the levels or get all the oranges on the levels or whatever. And then you have different.
I may be wrong. Is there something like that? Well, you may not know because I don't think you have an Xbox, right? You don't have an Xbox?
It was on Xbox. That's what we first played on.
Okay, so maybe on the Xbox Game Pass then, because I thought I saw something like that.
If you like casual games.
Yeah.
But it has unusual depth. Like as you're getting into the harder things, like you have to get 1 million points on a level, or you have to beat an entire level with one ball or something. It's pretty challenging, but mostly just fun.
You got a definite gamer wife if you can ever get her to play Call of Duty with you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. But
she gets really sick anything 3D, so we got to stick to the 2D.
So like, is it the motion sickness or motion?
Yes.
Effect.
Yeah.
But yeah, so back to the refurbished. So they gave me a refurbished, they didn't give, I paid for a refurbished Dreamcast. Mainly because I was done with Code Veronica. I think I played that thing to the point there was nothing else I could really do with it.
Right.
I was mainly using the Dreamcast now simply for the internet.
Right.
Connectivity.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I still actually had a Nintendo 64. And the weird thing is when you get newer systems, normally the newer systems is what takes precedence, and you play that more than you do the old stuff. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Honestly, even though my Dreamcast was still working at the time, once I really, with the exception of the internet capability, I went straight back to the fucking 64. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you play on the 64?
Oh,
like, what were your favorite games?
Oh, I had a shit ton.
I did GoldenEye the way you did Resident Evil Veronica, where I did everything you could do.
Please tell me. Well, did you play with anybody?
Like any friends
multiplayer? Oh, yes. Please tell me you did not play as Odd Job. You didn't play as okay. I'm like,
but some people would and just go around slapping everyone to
death. For me, the Dreamcast. Oh, not Dreamcast. N64. The games I really looked fondly on for that game, that system, was the first two WCW games. It was like World Tour and Revenge. To me, you could not. Those were like the best wrestling games for that time. I played some of the newer games that's come out on the Xbox One, and to me, it's just too fucking simulation. Like press this button. And the thing is, you press a button and probably I'm pressing it wrong because I'm still failing at the shit that they were wanting me to do, you know?
Right.
Let's see. There was those 2 games, and then WWF, which became WWE at the time or now, they put out 2 of their games. WWF Warzone. Oh no, was it Warzone? And then No Mercy. No, WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy.
Oh, okay.
Raw is War was like one of the shittiest wrestling games. They had it through a different company.
Oh.
And I
just actually, when they sucker people like with the name and they just get a crappy dev team together and
it was a shit game.
You could totally get away with that back then too. Like you could have a game. So the cover looked awesome and the preview looked awesome, and it was like, this is the game.
There was no, granted we had magazines, but also that's personalized information, It isn't like it is now where you or me could make a fucking video and show, hey, this game looks like shit, like,
exactly. Yeah, I could keep it secret.
But so there I was, but you asked, let's see, there was those games, so those 4 wrestling games. And then the very first game I got, which was Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
Oh yeah.
I loved Mortal Kombat. I loved it. I loved the first few iterations of the game. On the Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3.
Sega Genesis, was that the first one?
No, it was on. They were both. Mortal Kombat came both out on the Super Nintendo and the Genesis.
Right, but
the Genesis
looked like the arcade game.
Yeah. But all I had at the time was the Super Nintendo. So Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat Ultimate, and then Mortal Kombat Trilogy was all 4 of those games put into one cartridge.
Nice.
And I loved that game. And I'm pretty sure it had to have been a flaw, but they actually had cheat codes back then. You could put in a cheat code.
Yeah.
And I would put in a cheat code. I would get the little chime confirming that it worked.
Right.
But I did not get what was supposed to happen. I put in a cheat code for 1 button fatalities because I'm too fucking slow putting, the codes.
That was always really hard.
The only fatality I was ever able to successfully pull off was Smoke when he was a cyborg. Oh god, it was where he destroys the world by spitting out a shit ton of bombs out of his chest. And basically, if I remember correctly, you hold down block, and then it's like up, down, down, left, up, down, down, right. No, it's up.
The Konami code?
No. It was up. Oh. You hold block, and it's like, if I remember correctly, it was like up, right, down, left.
Oh, okay.
And then that's when he starts spitting it out. Yeah. But the thing is, I would get the chime, and nothing happened. So I'm wondering if it was like a glitch or something.
Yeah.
Let's see. There was those were and then Turok. You ever play Turok?
Oh yeah.
I love Turok, the very first Turok game. Turok 2, it was pretty decent. It wasn't as good as Turok 1.
Yeah.
And then Turok 3 was the first game I got after me and my mom moved to the townhouse in Longview. But before Turok 3, it was Turok 2, if I remember correctly. And then there was a side game called Turok Rage Wars. And that was like, oh god, what there's a first person shooter tournament game, Unreal. It kind of reminds me of Unreal, where they had a whole bunch of the characters from the Turok and basically games, and you just shoot it out,
Oh, gotcha.
Me and my cousin Peter, we would play that for hours on end. Let's see. I actually had a shit ton of N64 games. One of the last games I had for my N64 before I stupidly pawned it off and everything was Road Rash.
Oh, okay.
Basically, you're on a motorcycle and you're just fighting other people on motorcycles by having
you could hit them with stuff.
Yeah. But so you had a 64?
I did, but I mean, my video gaming spans all the way back to Pong. I mean, I was born in 77.
Yeah.
And my dad worked in electronics as a salesman at Sears. And so he would get to try out all of the things before. So like Commodore 64, we had a ColecoVision. And then of course when Atari 2600 came out. And so I mean, like, I just thought that's, like everybody had these,
Yeah.
like,
Did he bring it home for you guys to try out, or did you have
yep,
to go? And
yep.
he didn't get in trouble for that?
No, they made him do it.
Oh, they did.
It was required for him to know how to sell them. He'd have to go read the manuals. And then it was kind of helpful, because kids like to play the games, for me to test them out. And then
God, I don't think they do that anymore.
Probably not. So it was so weird back then. I mean, back then being a salesman at Sears was a lifelong career.
Yeah.
Like, and they'd send him on sales retreats to different cities, like to learn the trade better. They'd learn all the technical things about the TVs and computers, because things were changing so fast at that time, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, and then it went to where they were going on straight commission. Like they didn't get paid an hourly wage. And then it just became like a job that teenagers do.
Yeah. And that's kind of sad, because nowadays, like, you work at McDonald's or Safeway and they're like, oh, that's a beginner's job. You should not expect retirement. That's for you to get, sometimes people have that, that ability to go up.
Right. Well, now you need a college degree to get any career job.
Yeah. And to me, I'm grateful for having my job and everything, but I also busted my ass for 4 years, in college. Absolutely. And, but some people are not given that, granted, a lot of people can go and get funding if possible, but some people wash out in college and they're kind of, they're relegated to that spot, in life, and
right.
Whereas before, like you said, working at Sears, even though now it's that's an entry job, you shouldn't bitch about it,
right.
Back, 30, 40 years ago, it was still seen as a career, like,
right. Being a salesman back then, I mean, it's interesting. Like, I mean, I don't know if you ever saw the play Death of a Salesman.
Nah.
But that's, I mean, he's kind of about the salesman stuff not working, but he describes this, this guy that he idolizes, who could do his job in his robe and slippers, just making phone calls, the salesman, and as he retired and when he passed away, there's like hundreds of people from different states that came to his funeral because he had, met all these people. And there was a different vibe. And then now salesman, seems like a
it's like a pauper's job, like,
right.
And which
is
it's
sad too. Like, I don't think there should be any factory jobs that don't pay a wage that you can retire on and own your own home.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's totally un-American that can even be possible.
Well, it's like I think I've said it to you before. Only in America, I know I'm sounding getting on my soapbox here, or this is the old man yelling at the clouds meme, but literally only in America can you have two people in the same household, like in this case, me and my mom,
right,
work our asses off.
Yep.
And we still can't afford to even get a fucking home, like, and the thing, and I'm literally dreading the day because, she's gonna retire and she needs to, she's worked a long, life.
She deserves it. Yeah.
But the way rent is going, and the thing is, me and like we could go to the bank, and I've heard people say, "Oh, loans are low, like low, whatever the correct term is."
Interest rates.
Like, interest rates are so low.
Yeah. Well, but house prices have doubled.
Yeah, and the thing is, you tell, oh, we got two jobs. Oh, great. What jobs do you have? Oh, she works, in a chicken factory, and I work, here. And they look at us like we're fucking aliens. No, you go rent. Like,
I know, it's absurd. And if you don't have $20,000 to put down on a house, they won't even talk to you unless you're a vet or something. And you have some program you can get.
And it should not be like that. Like, do you know that there are people who work that are homeless?
Yeah. And they take showers and like public bathrooms are like, that's how they wash up. And
how sad is that? You're working, it isn't like you're literally begging for money on a street corner. You're literally working a 9-to-5 job and you're living in a car.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking bogus as shit,
Right. Yeah. I mean, how many, people who were even born into middle class homes ever had to sleep in their car, like,
and
it's so hard in this country if you're born poor. Like,
and the thing is, I've come across people who are like, well, you want the good stuff, you need to work 2 or 3 jobs, and like, okay, when do you sleep?
Exactly.
Well, if you want the house, you should do whatever it takes. It wasn't like that 40 years ago,
Right. Like, and I'm fine with the 40-hour work week, like, sure, I'd prefer a 4-day work week or whatever. But it's, it's better than working in factories or working in the mines, like people 100 years ago didn't really have a whole lot of options about what you did. So I'm fine with it. But if you're going to work 40-hour week, even in the whatever, even if you're a janitor, you should make enough money to buy a house. Right. And to be able to have it paid off by the time you retire. So then your Social Security can pay whatever property taxes or whatever, and you're just set. Like, you earned it. Like, you put in your time, you contributed to society, and like.
And the sad thing is, my mom, she's been working since she was like 15 or 16. So she's been working for 40 plus years.
Right.
And granted, she has a retirement fund that she's been, at work.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to be enough to fucking get a house, like. And it's just it's a downer for me.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I'll help you look at options and stuff too. Like,
I'm
part of my life goal is to make sure your mom gets a place.
Yeah. Well, we were talking. You're still. I think she is liking the option of just getting the fuck out of Kelso. Like this place is a fucking cesspool. I'm not saying like it was always a cess. It is. Kelso Longview was nice. Hell, it was nice 20 years ago. It had its flaws, but now it's just really gone downhill. Like.
Yeah, I think generationally, like the like a lot of having the mill jobs and then having kids that have the mill jobs, and then they have kids that, like, I think it really weighs on a town. Like, these are hard jobs when you're working like variable shifts. Like, my dad worked at Norpac, the paper mill, after he couldn't be a salesman anymore. So that's what you do, right? And even in Longview, if you lose your job, you go work at the mills, and you make good money there. But working the variable shifts, like, he has to work day shift for 4 days, and then they get a day and a half off, and they work night shift for 4 days or whatever. Like, it messes up your body, it messes up your brain. Like, we're not built to do that kind of stuff. And if that's what it costs to, own a home, is that you have to destroy your health.
And the weird thing is, at Foster Farms where mom works, for like the last 10 years almost, or at least let's say just before I started going to college in 2014, for that time period, they were not working. They were lucky to get have to work one Saturday a year.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, I don't know why, but all of a sudden lately now it's been like almost every fucking Saturday.
You're kidding.
That they're and they're originally saying that they were building up for like the summer, holidays and everything.
Right.
But this has been going on for months. It's like, what fucking changed? Like.
Do you think the pandemic had something to do with it, or?
I think it could have. But then again, chicken prices are going up. It's like, well, everything's going up.
Yeah, inflation's starting.
Yeah, and
hooray.
I'm watching. I'm not. Once again, I know that I'm not trying to get on my soapbox, but a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's all Biden's fault." This shit was starting towards the end of Trump's fucking presidency.
Yeah, I mean, the bailouts that they're having to do because of COVID, like, somebody's got to pay the piper.
Yeah, that's true too.
So,
but I remember just after, just before the election, that was when gas prices have started to tick up again.
Yeah.
I remember walking to Safeway to catch the bus to go to work, And it seems like, just before that election, every day it would just be slowly rising. And now we're at what, 325, like,
yeah, with no sign of stopping.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, people say this is all Biden's fault. It did not start with Biden. This was going on with Trump, like, and people before I know somebody, down the road will watch this video and go, "You're a fucking Biden supporter." No, I hate all politicians.
Me too.
I fucking I hate Democrats. I hate Republicans.
Me too.
I'm not sure what you would consider me because
unaffiliated.
Yeah,
that's what
I
we
guess
are.
You could say that
because we are unaffiliated.
I mean,
proudly unaffiliated.
If you were to take my stance on items,
right,
I would be so extreme. You know how they have like that little meter, that
right.
like either
you'd be on
that
the
meter would have
fascist dictator a little bit.
That meter would have a fucking concussion based on how I,
right.
like honestly, I am no, I know I'm not going to stay in it that much because I don't want to turn this into politics, but I know that's where it's going.
I don't mind.
Like when it comes to government programs, have them, but make sure the people are getting stuff like food stamps.
Yeah.
Make their asses work. Make them go and look. So that'd be like buying right to the left.
Yeah, right.
But when it comes to guns and shit, control that shit. So or
right.
I'm for people having it, but there needs to be a lot more controls. So
right.
Or
right. And not just, like like who needs AR-15s or whatever.
Like me, I would fucking even though I know that would throw me to the right. Close the fucking borders. Bam. And then like
let's fix our problems first.
Yeah.
And then
so that would be there. And then another thing would be like, no, I'm pulling all our people out from these wars.
Yes.
Slam it right back into that poor fucking meter would have that fucking concussion.
The one weird thing, I mean, I don't know if it was part of the America First agenda or whatever, but like the Republicans are usually they want to police the world, right?
Yeah.
Like you mess with us, we're going to blow you up. We don't even need to know if it was you that did it. But Trump, I think, had the least amount of troops. Like I think he brought the most troops back, didn't he? Like,
well, I think it was scheduled. That wasn't he scheduled to be like, because I don't follow the fucking news anymore. I mean,
yeah,
I am so fucking, ever since all this politically correct stuff has really been heightened and everything.
Yeah,
I fucking stopped watching it, because I am for when I used to, until I got tired of Facebook and stuff, which is a whole nother story.
Mm-hmm.
I am not for white lives matter. I am not for Black lives matter. I'm not for Mexican. I'm for all lives.
Human lives matter.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, you say that and oh my God, they look at you like you're a fucking pedophile. Oh, so does that mean criminal lives matter? I know there's I'm for lives matter, all lives mattering when you are in control of what you do with your life. That's where I stop. Right. If that makes any sense. I can't.
Well, sure. Like you can't be free to the point where you're gonna punch someone else in the face and think like I have the freedom to punch someone else in the face.
And if you do punch somebody, then you should expect an ass whooping coming. Like
right.
But I'm for all lives. And when when you went to Facebook, this time last year after oh God, that one guy was killed. I can't recall his name right now. The one that was killed by the police officers. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Floyd.
George Floyd.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I and the thing is, I would not be, treat people poorly at all. I try to ignore them. I just say, hey, I feel all lives matter. If we're, instead of focusing on laws that say end Asian hate or end Black hate, shouldn't we end all hate?
Right.
Because to me, when you put one color,
right, you're already doing prejudice, right?
Yeah,
you're
to me, it makes it feel like you're putting them above all others.
Category.
When you should say, hey, we should have a bill that just targets all racism.
I try to understand the logic, like I'm an evolutionist, right? So like to me, like humans have been around for what, 160 million years?
Well, you're telling us that a magical boogeyman in the sky did not just poop us out.
Well, I'm fine with that idea too. I think it's probably more like a simulation if that's true, and God would be more like a scientist, like a Rick and Morty episode with a teeny verse or something like that. But oh shoot, now I lost my train of thought. What were we talking
Oh,
about?
we were talking about evolutionists, I think.
Oh, right. And so for me, when I think about human history, I think about all of it. And for us to squabble weirdly over certain time frames, but all we're really doing is having a power battle in the present, right? Like it's all about power. If you want to play in society, you have to have power. You have power as a Republican, you have power as a Democrat, you have power as a Christian, you have power as a, like whatever group you're going to go into and wear the, ring of. And that's really what it is. It's a power game. So you're going to use everything to your advantage. So if I can make you less powerful by taking my group and saying, we say people that say that are racist. Like if you say all lives matter, you're racist, right? That's like a white person dog whistle or whatever. That just gives them power to disregard you and your opinions, or to punish you one way or another. So to me, that's all I see. And that's what humans do. Humans have always done it. They've done it since the Bible times, right? Like rich people indulge in what they like and they don't care about what happens to poor people. That's human history. Up until the point where they would enslave other human beings and say like, oh, I'm a real human and you're a subhuman or something.
And that's the thing, like if that's one thing I freaking hate about the internet. Even though you were using it, it gives people that anonymity, like
they never have to put anything up.
And the thing is, if this was 20, 30 years ago before the fucking internet, there would be people who would still be ballsy enough, but it's not a lot of them, but that would say, you're a fucking piece of shit, you're a loser. Normally, if they said that to somebody 20, 30 years ago, they'd get their teeth punched out,
Right. You're at least going outside to have a conversation about it.
Nowadays, it's, somebody on a fake account doing all that shit.
Sometimes they're 11 years old and you don't know it. I've had so many parents be like, I cannot believe what my 11-year-old has been writing on YouTube.
Well, that's why, if I ran this country, like you said, it would be I know people say, oh, it's a dictatorship. I have I know it sounds batshit crazy, but then again, this is me we're talking about. I'm the guy who thinks the octopus is going to be gunning for me from Unsolved Mysteries.
I believe that more than I believe like the news version of the United States. I believe in oligarchy. So,
but honestly, what was I gonna say? If I ran this country, people say it's a dictatorship, but I don't have any proof, but it's just a feeling. I think people at a real subconscious level, or whatever you want to call it, want to be controlled. They want that order. They want that, to be grabbed. That way they don't have to worry about what they have to do. They can literally just be told, this is what you're going to do.
Like children, essentially.
This is what you're going to do. You're going to like it and too fucking bad, And it is, and people say, oh, that you're a dictator, Jeff, you're a dictator. Honestly, I would not view myself, because I do want control, but I'm also not going to be taking things away drastically, like when you mentioned the fucking internet and 11-year-olds. If I ran this country, there would be one internet that would be government, controlled by, the people,
public internet or whatever.
And the thing is, you cannot just easily get on it. You have to supply verifiable evidence of who you are. That way, if somebody goes on the fucking Facebook, which I would end up taking over, because like I said, this is my country, that shit would be controlled,
right?
And their whole, because right now I have a fucking hate boner because I got fucking put in Facebook jail because I call somebody a bitch.
How long are you in for?
Like, I think it was like last Thursday or whatever it was. 7 days.
I'm doing hard time, dude.
Yeah. And the thing is, what fucking pisses me off beyond I called somebody a bitch. I did. Because the person called me a homosexual slur. Now, keep in mind, this is during Pride Month.
Yeah.
When all these companies go out and say, we are are for.
I hope they got banned too, right? Like, did they?
I reported the person as soon as he called me the slur, and he called me a slur. Yeah. I reported his ass. I called him a bitch, and apparently it was like a double nuking, you know. But the thing is that because I got Facebook jailed 3 times before that. Oddly enough, for calling people bitches because they were being mean to me. Mm. You know, it just the more you get Facebook jail, the longer your sentence is. Yeah.
Right. You're a multiple offender.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I reported the person for using a slur because I feel that if during Pride Month, even though I think everybody should have rights across the board. To me, Pride Month seems to be commercialized.
Yeah.
You got fucking Skittles draining the color out of the rainbow, and they're all white, and they're saying this is for Pride? How is one color?
It's the rainbow.
Yeah.
They're giving the rainbow for a month.
How is it being one color showing pride when you're literally draining the purples, the yellows?
It's the opposite. I think they meant for it to be like, hey, this is your month. You own the rainbow.
Wow. I just don't understand it, to be honest, dude. But I figured if I reported this guy because he used a homosexual slur against me, when you go out and say we are taking a stand against hate speech.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I got a reply back after while I've been in Facebook jail. Apparently, one of the officers came in and slid a fucking letter to me through the bars of my cell. And the letter basically said, in the context of what you sent us, it was something along the lines of like, we do not feel that this is a violation.
Wow.
That motherfucker called me the hard F word.
Wow.
Yeah, he called me. It's because apparently I'm guessing they can say, well, that is actually a word that they use for, I'm guessing, cigarettes in England or something.
Yeah, that's a bundle of sticks.
Yeah, it's like, oh, don't play that fucking shit with me.
Yeah,
that was a ridiculous fucking slur. He gets nothing, and I called him a bitch for calling me that, and I'm the one that gets fucking 7 days in jail. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
Have you red flagged or something.
And the thing is what fucking pissed me off about this whole issue with Facebook. It says, would you like to contest? Fuck yeah, I'm going to contest it.
Right. If it's like YouTube, though, it just automatically comes back. Yeah. We still decided no.
Yeah, basically what it was, well, due to the pandemic, we don't have that many people reviewing things now. So we're going to, it's going to be put up to our glorious and omnipotent machine.
Yeah.
And like, I fucking know where this is going to go because this shit has done it to me 3 times already. So I'm like, fine, fuck it, So I'm like, fine. 3 minutes later, I think it was, I got a reply saying, yeah, we're upholding it. You're still fucked.
Right. But they gave you the process.
Would you like to leave any, your thoughts or whatever, opinion about how we can make it better? I said, yeah, fuck you. And then
tack on another week for that.
Yeah. Oh, I'll fucking throw that middle finger up if I need to, but it's the hypocrisy of it that pisses me off. It's like,
yeah, double standard, right? Yeah. They're not applying it equally.
And the thing is, I think honestly now, because I've been in Facebook jail 3 times already before this, I think they honestly have I think they have programs that watch specific people who they've had encounters with. Right. And if you say specific fucking words,
yeah.
And it doesn't matter why you say it. It's just if you say that. And I tell you, Aaron, I'm going to test this next time I get out of Facebook jail.
You're going to say, I just got a new puppy and that bitch is in heat.
I can say that. I was literally going to say, I was actually going to say, when I get out, I'm going to put a message on my Facebook saying, just, straight out of Facebook jail again. Fuck you, Facebook. And I'm going to sit there and I'm like,
I count.
Look at the calendar and just like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm waiting for that pop up to say, due to recent violations of our terms
of service.
Yeah, we are banned for another 7 days. I'll be like, fucking knew it. Like. But anyway, before
it reminds me of the Breakfast Club. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, in the Breakfast Club, he gives him a week of Saturday school.
Oh, yeah, and then he just keeps
something.
saying other things.
Right.
He just keeps attacking on.
And then Claire turns around and says, "Stop."
Yeah. I actually got that movie on DVD, and we're going to talk. How much time do you have? Do you know how much time you have left to talk? I don't want to keep you for too long.
Like, we just could wrap it up here in a few minutes.
Okay. Well, before I do, I do want to share one thing. So, hold on. Let me. Shit. Let's see here. I'm still kind of learning this portion of the screen video. Okay, probably not here. So we'll go doing this. I got something I want to talk about. Let's see. I hope it shows up. It was an image I made. It came from River City's Transit, baby. Can you see the picture? I'm just curious.
I mean, it's just the thumbnail.
Oh, it's just a thumbnail? Is that okay? I was hoping it would be bigger. Because on my side, it actually is a full.
It shows the full picture.
Hold on. Let me see. Maybe if I stop.
You might have to double click it.
Yeah. Let's see if I do screen. There. Is that any better?
That's taking. Oh, yep, you got it.
Okay. So you got a woman screaming and or scared and everything. I actually have
a nice transparency on that.
I try my best, actually. It took me like a fucking half hour with this software that I have, which is like umpteen years old, but,
right. That's fine.
Basically, before we go, I'm sorry we didn't get to talk about movies. Do you want to do this again tomorrow or maybe on the weekend or something?
Yeah. Tomorrow I think we've got something going on with the house, but this weekend would be good. Oh no, we're taking my mother-in-law back to
the mother-in-law. Okay, what so what would you say, like either Friday or Saturday?
Yeah, probably Friday.
Okay, Friday night we'll do. Okay, so anybody who's
Saturday would be better. Maybe Saturday would be better.
That's fine. I'm not working Monday, so. Okay. So Saturday we will talk exclusively movies because you're kind of wanting to talk about movies.
I love to talk about movies.
I went off the rails. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's fun.
But before
a good pilot.
Yeah, but before we adjourn for the night, I was on the bus going to work yesterday morning, and the bus picked me up at Safeway over here, and where the property the turn on to grade from the Three Rivers property near Safeway is, right?
Yeah.
Well, we were at that intersection. Now I've ridden River City's Transit for over 30 years. Back when it was known as Cubs, which stood for Community Urban Bus Service.
Yep.
So I'm used to seeing when they have new drivers, that they're training new drivers. Well, I was on the bus yesterday morning, and this was going on, and we were at that intersection about to take a right onto Grade Street, and I was like at the midway point of the bus, in the midway point, and I heard the radio kick on, and they have a new driver on the Route 57, and the poor lady, I'm not sure she was trained to do that route yet or whatnot, but she came on the radio. She goes, "Okay, guy." Oh God, I can't recall what it is, but it's like it's their command center.
Right.
They're like
dispatch or something.
Dispatch, yeah. She's like, "Dispatch, this is 57." They're like, "Go ahead," and she's like, "Okay, I'm here at the train station. Where do I go?" Oh shit, They
don't have like a GPS thing or like.
Well, the thing is, they have a GPS. They do have a GPS, but the thing is, it's like, I've seen it and I can't make heads or tails of it sometimes because you got to constantly update it, and then where it does tell you to go, it doesn't give you step by step. It just tells you where to go.
Gotcha.
She goes, they're like, you need to know where to go. She goes, yes. She goes, oh, they go like, okay, leave the train station, take a right onto Pacific, heading towards Foster Farms on that road. She goes, okay, and they're like, okay, dispatch out. A few minutes later, I'm on the bus over, getting on the bridge. It's the older bridge now, that old steel one, that we have. We were just approaching that bridge when all of a sudden the radio goes off again. 57 to dispatch. Now, they were giving some call out number, but it was for 57 though. Mm-hmm. Dispatch is like, go on 57. She goes, okay, I'm here. Where do I go on this road? And they're like, where do you go? Over? She goes, yes. Where do we go? Where do I go? Over? And they're like, okay, where are you at? Over? And she's reading off the street as the street sign. Gosh. And they're like, okay, well, when you get to this street, take a left. It will lead you straight to Foster Farms. Mm-hmm. And okay, thank you. 57 out. And by this point, we are now approaching the downward slope of that bridge, next to where that hotel is. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, like clockwork, 57 to dispatch.
Oh my gosh.
I'm looking at this. Oh,
is she gonna? How many times does she have to do it?
Well, the thing is, I don't think this poor, and I'm not ragging on her. I'm not. The fucking bus system here right now, due to the pandemic, is stretched. It literally looks like the anus of somebody who had a watermelon shoved through it. I know that's gross, but
that's bad. That's clearly bad.
Yeah, because once the pandemic started, like half of the drivers quit once the pandemic started. Yeah. So they're struggling right now. So even though I'm kind of laughing, it's just, I'm also looking like I
feel bad for you.
And the thing is, she's like,
could you have helped her out? Like, you've been on there for 30 years. Do you know the routes?
I know 50. I could probably tell her where to go if I was sitting on the bus with her.
Right. They wouldn't want you to do that. She wouldn't trust you probably anyway. Well, I just wondered if after that long you would know it better than she did.
Well, I'm probably sure I did because I had to ride 57 every day when I went to the college. So yeah.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, because the 57 would actually stop right at the bus stop that's right in front of the college, just a little bit next to the donut shop.
Yep. Mm.
Well, and they were talking over and over and over and over, and 57 fell so far behind on their schedule. They were actually thinking about rerouting 45, which is the bus I was on, to pick up some of the people that 57 takes. So
right.
That and that road that KFC is on, right? Mm-hmm. That's the road that 57 goes down after they're done with their route part in Kelso. They go down that road, and then they take a left or right next to the theater, which takes them by the college and the donut shop.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. That makes sense.
Well, they were talking about it, and they said that we may need to reroute 45 to pick up anybody who's at Winco. Mm. And granted, I could get off there, but normally 45 stops right in front of the school I work at. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, oh god, this is turning into a clusterfuck. But thankfully, by the time we were already on Ocean Beach Highway, and I'm not sure what ended up happening. I'm hoping that things got fixed, but this goes to show there is a reason right now. If you look at the back of the buses, I'm not sure if you've seen any of the back of the buses lately, but they actually have advertisements saying that they're hiring bus operators or something like that.
Yeah, I see that everywhere. Almost all like the fast food places say that, even on like the drive-throughs.
Yeah, and it's sad that because isn't this a government-owned thing? Isn't this or a city-owned?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You would think that they would be able to get people, but apparently they are really hurting for drivers. And the thing that has me kind of scratching my head, we are not able to send the drivers out properly trained, apparently, because they're so stretched thin.
Right, exactly. That's the frustrating part. Yeah, the new people.
That recently they are also announcing that they're going to be adding a new route.
Oh no!
It's like we're having this problem, and you're wanting to add another route.
Right.
And the thing is, right now, 57 is one of the deadest routes.
Oh, it is,
because it goes in areas that don't really need a bus. Like I know that Longview has what we call Snob Hills, where all the high price houses are. Mm-hmm. Kelso has their own form of the Snob Hill. It isn't as big as Longview is, but the buses go up there. Do we really need buses in an area where houses are going for like $1 million? Like I don't think we need buses up there, but maybe
that's how they keep their money. They don't buy cars.
But so that was my little tale. It came from River City Transit. And
you're gonna have a story about some blonde lady that almost got hit by the
I actually saw this, and the reason I used this image was there used to be a TV show, which I'll talk about later on our next episode, that there was a TV station called Tech TV. It used to be video game centric stuff. And there was a video game review show called X Play, and one of the segments.
Oh yes, I remember X Play. Adam
Sessler.
And what was the girl's name?
Morgan Webb.
Yes.
And one of the segments one of the segments they did was it came from Xbox Live, and it showed this picture of this woman here, if I remember correctly, with a picture of Adam Sessler's head with a headset and screaming. So I just I thought it'd be funny but
that's good.
Okay, but that is it for this episode of
have to do this again.
Shooting the Shit with Jeff, aka GCurse, and Aaron, aka Anavrin. Sorry, I'm trying to.
It's not easy to pronounce.
Yeah,
Anavrin. That's what I say.
And we'll talk about that, on a future episode. Like, why did we pick our names and stuff?
That's a good idea. That would be fun.
But I just want to thank you for doing this test run with me, even though it's gone for quite a while.
No, it was great. It was fun. So yeah, definitely in Spokane, we'll have to keep doing this.
Yeah, this is the only way we will be able to.
Yeah.
But you take it easy, and I just want to thank everybody who has joined us.
Me too.
And I guess that is it. So this is Jeff, aka GCurse, wishing you all a good night. Peace out, everyone.